Welcome to our Nashoba Tech Alumni Podcast, where we explore life after Nashoba Tech and the journeys that our graduates undertake and the careers and community involvements that they build along the way.
Our guest today is a class of 2015 alumni and graduate of Nashoba Tech's Early Childhood Education Program, Kalee Chapman. Welcome, Kalee.
Happy to be here. Very excited.
Yeah, so please tell us a bit about yourself. What do you do? Where did your career path take you?
So right now, I work as an assistant director at the largest outdoor education facility in the country over in Southern California. So it's basically overnight school field trips for students. They come up, they do like a ropes course. We have STEM curriculum. We have like 700 students at a time, and I oversee a staff of about 120.
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So was there any time where you were like on the ropes about joining early childhood or the early childhood education program, or did you know you wanted to join it like right from the get-go, from the start?
Yeah.
It was interesting because I had like two dreams as a kid. One was to be a pastry chef, and one was to be a first grade teacher.
Oh.
And I went, and when I did exploratory, it was so exciting. When you get to do all the shops.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going into culinary, and I have a nut allergy, and they told me that like maybe it's not the shop for you. So then I leaned on my other dream to be a first grade teacher. So I knew I was going to go into early childhood because I've always loved working with kids. I mean, I still do to this day. So yeah, it was really just a 50-50 shot, and then my nut allergy kind of messed me up in that one.
Hey, I mean, fate takes you where you got to go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so what other clubs and activities were you involved in? And did these like experience really influence you and like your career path, toward like education?
Yeah, I would say so. So at freshman year, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a first grade teacher. Activities I was in drama club, I did theater. And then that kind of experience really, I found out that theater education was like a college major. And then I basically wanted to do like what Smith did, or does. I don't know if she's still there.
She is, yeah.
Yes, I wanted to be her, basically. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to run a drama club. I want to teach kids the beauty and the love of theater and the arts. And then I also played soccer, but playing soccer was just for fun. So then in my senior year, I applied to college to be for theater education. So it kind of like took me from wanting to teach first graders to wanting to teach older kids like high schoolers, but I always was in the education vein.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's really awesome how like you had an extracurricular to really push you forward and inspire you. I know that's not really the same for a lot of people. I know I can really relate to that, but that's really awesome that you had that experience to drive you forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have any advice for incoming freshmen of Nashoba Tech?
So when I was a freshman, I was so nervous because all of my friends that I had from kindergarten through 8th grade went to like the regular district school, and I was coming alone with no friends. And I would say you really have to put yourself out there. And even if you left your core group of friends behind, take your I really valued exploratory. I feel like I learned a lot about myself. I would say take exploratory seriously. Do you guys still do exploratory?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. It changes a bit every year, but we still have our core kind of concepts in there.
Yeah, I would say take it really seriously and learn a lot about yourself during that. Like I came into the tech wanting to do culinary or early childhood. I really learned a lot in graphic design exploratory, and that was my second choice when I like submitted my shops. I also really liked plumbing. Not the career for me, but I had a great 2.5 days was what it was when I was there. So take exploratory seriously and try and get outside of your comfort zone and talk to some people you normally wouldn't think you would. And why not join a club? I think joining a club is the easiest way to just find like-minded people and hopefully make some friends.
I agree with that. Finding a club is very important in high school. And like for me, going into when I was a freshman, like going through the exploratories, like just like finding the perfect shop was like really important. And but that's great. Do you have any words for like upperclassmen as they've been in shop for a few years now, when they get closer to graduation day?
I would say I was really nervous about using my shop, like being like, okay, I have to do this because I spent 4 years doing it and it would be a waste of my time if I didn't do it. Like early childhood education, I would graduate with my infant toddler teaching license and my preschool teaching license. So I felt like this huge pressure of like, okay, you graduate and you go be a preschool teacher right now because you did all this work. But I would say it's okay to venture elsewhere. Like I got a lot of skills that I got in those 4 years, but do I teach preschool? No. But do I still work with kids? Yes. I would say it's okay. Even if you go to college and you major in something that has nothing to do with your shop, you still gained that skill and you will have it forever, but you don't have to pressure yourself to be like, this is my identity for the rest of my life.
That's a really inspiring take. I know, like, I mean, just seeing my peers, I personally am following a career path like along the TV media and theater kind of trade line, but it's really inspiring to see you kind of promote like kind of venturing away from that and really doing what you want to do, like at
exploring
your core.
Different things,
right?
Like even if you've been in a shop, exploring like everything and not just being specific to your one trade,
right? So I'm curious, beyond Nashoba Tech, where did you go to college? And I know you talked about studying teaching in like for older kids and education. What'd you do along those lines?
I would say I had a very non-traditional college experience. I went to Bridgewater State. When I was applying for colleges, there were only two colleges with a theater education program, Emerson and Bridgewater State. I was not going to Emerson. But I went to Bridgewater State to study in theater education, and I was there for 2 years. And when I was in college, I applied for the Disney College program, got into that, went there, and then I was like, I don't. And then when I was in college, I was going home every weekend because I missed my family. And so when I was in Florida for the Disney College program, I decided that I should transfer to a school I can commute to so I don't have to go home. So then I transferred to Fitchburg State for communications and technical theater because when I was in the Disney College program, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Disney World, but there's a show called Fantasmic. I don't know if you guys know of it.
Our audio person is very excited.
Yeah, she definitely liked the sound of that.
If you want to talk to me after the show, I'd be happy to. But my area where I was, we like won this competition and we got to go backstage of Fantasmic and like learn how they do it. And my mind was blown because the only theater I'd ever done was at the Tech and at my middle school and like a few summer programs. And it like blew my mind because we saw the costumes, we saw where they do the lights, we saw where they do the fireworks, we saw where they do their quick changes, we saw where the boats are and everything. And I was like, I need to do this. This is what I want to do. So that's why I transferred to Fitchburg State for technical theater. But then I just realized that college was not for me. And then I decided to just start working instead. So I didn't really graduate college, but I learned a lot about myself. And I leaned away from the theater part of my life and more towards the education part of my life.
So how did your experiences at Nashoba Tech in this shop in specific help you in college?
I would say, because I knew like the basis of education and like the philosophy of teaching, in my 2 years at Bridgewater State, I only took like 2 or 3 education classes, but it felt very much like, oh, I already know this, especially because I had worked with kids like in early childhood education. I was basically teaching preschool. So I already like knew the background philosophies of how to talk to children, how to get children to learn. So it just felt very like natural to me. And I was just excited to go more in depth with students that were older because it leaned more elementary education and high school education, the education classes that I was taking in college.
Yeah. So I know you said your college path was really non-traditional. What experiences from that path really do you cherish and value the most?
Mostly the theater program at Bridgewater State. I felt very at home there with people that I felt comfortable with. I had never been backstage in theater before, and I got to like run our projector for the production of Young Frankenstein. I got to like wear the headphones, and the stage manager was talking to me, and I had never done that part, and that was really cool for me. I also took a children's theater class, which I valued a lot because the arts are really important to me. And I got to make a puppet for my final exam. It really is that joke of people that are like doing biology and they're studying for their finals, and I was like literally making a puppet, and my roommate was studying. Yeah. So I really treasured the like silly, goofy things about being a theater major that made college like not as daunting as I felt like it was going to be when I got to do like silly things like that.
So you mentioned you transferred from colleges. Is there anything you wish you'd done differently now you're working in education?
Oh, well, in the grand scheme, no, because everything has led me to where I am, and I love my job and I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think I wish I stuck it out at Fitchburg State and commuted and finished it, because I think it would be nice to say that I have a bachelor's degree. And I think I could have also learned a lot. But I do think that if I didn't leave, then I wouldn't have found the camp world. I wouldn't have found it, and then I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah, so kind of like moving on, like with what you just said, your first job after you left Fitchburg State. Can you tell us about that?
So I had a couple of in-between jobs. I think I was working at a Walmart, but I was applying to work at a summer camp because it was my dream ever since I was little. I don't know why. I had really not gone to camp, like a traditional summer camp. So it was just I wanted to work with kids and be silly. So the summer camp hiring circuit is really like January to May. So this time was like February or March of 2018, and I was like applying to every summer camp in New England. I was like, this is my dream. I want to do it. And then I just didn't get a job. And then like the end of May, maybe the end of beginning of June was rolling around. And at that point, all the summer camps are starting their trainings. Like all hope was lost for me. And then I got an email from a camp in New Hampshire, Camp Cody, to be their photographer, which I was like, this is crazy. This is so fun. And so I went. I showed up late. I had missed like 3 days of training. And then I got trained how to be a camp counselor, how to be the photographer. This other girl that I met had actually majored in photography. So we actually switched. I taught pottery, which I had never done before. But hey, I got to work with kids, so it was fine. So she was the camp photographer. And for the next 8 weeks, I worked my dream job. I was a camp counselor for 11 and 12-year-old girls, and with 2-week sessions. So they would come through from all over the place. They would come from all over the country. I had 2 girls from France in my cabin.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so cool. And there was a huge lake. It was literally like a movie. It was literally like the movie Parent Trap. I was living my dream. I learned so much about myself and where I want to be and how I value students, campers, kids learning and growing as people. Because even though at a summer camp, you're not like in a classroom, but especially 2 weeks with these kids, you can watch the girl show up on day 1 and leave on day 14, completely different girl. She's learned so much about herself. You've taught her so much about like how to be a person, how to care about others. And that just like the summer of 2018 changed my life for sure.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really wonderful.
So you mentioned photography at the summer camp. What was the typical work day like for that?
I'm going to be honest. No offense to all summer camp photographers out there, but it is for my opinion, hard, and it's something I don't want to do. A summer camp photographer is so, especially at like a higher end summer camp, which I would say that I worked at, you would have a quota of like easily 500 photos a day, and the goal of like the photography team is to get multiple photos of every kid, and every single kid needs to look happy in the photo. So if there's like a kid, and then you have to go into Photoshop, and then it was like I didn't know how to use Photoshop, so I was learning.
Mm.
And then to like edit out the kids in the background, because if there's kids in the background that look like they're not having fun, they can't be in the photo. If you can't edit it to look natural, the photo's done. The lighting has to be good. The kids have to look like they're having fun. Nobody can look unsafe in the background. It is like the most stringent job, and I only did it for a week. And then I switched with another girl so she was the photographer, and I just taught pottery every day, every morning, to the kids instead. So God bless all camp. It's a hard job, but not the job for me.
Yeah.
Pottery sounds more fun anyway.
Yeah, no.
Much more chill.
Yeah, I
Right?
bet.
So have you moved on to another job since this camp job?
Yes. So that camp ended in August, as all summer camps do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just really meandered around. I didn't have anything to do, and then I got an email from this camp saying that they were starting up an outdoor education kind of thing. They were doing it for the first time, and they invited me to come back. So then I got to go back, and I never worked in outdoor education. In fifth grade, I went to Nature's Classroom, so that's basically what it was. And they were basically building the program. So we were learning how we were going to run the dining hall. How are we going to run classes? Where were we going to teach them? Someone like came in and showed us some curriculum that he had written and games that he had played. And it's basically has led me to what I do now. But it was students were coming for overnight field trips. We were teaching them outdoor and science curriculum, going on hikes, digging up salamanders, things in that nature. And I only got to do that, I think, for a month and a half before that program stopped. I think it was just October into November. But that experience alone changed my life because I was like, this is it.
So could you tell us about your career and who you're currently working with now and what your typical workday is like?
Yeah. So like I mentioned at the top, I'm working in outdoor education, but that all started at that same summer camp that I mentioned earlier. I was working in outdoor education, which is like those overnight field trips for students. That really opened my eyes to like the fact that outdoor education even exists. Like I don't even think it was on my radar ever. But I got to work in outdoor education program where kids were like digging around in the dirt for salamanders. We're like testing the water at a lake, going on hikes and things. And that was in 2018. And then I worked at another camp in 2019 in Massachusetts, just like a classic summer camp. And then I was like missing the outdoor education part of my life. I wanted to do it so bad. So I really just on Indeed looked up outdoor education jobs, and where I worked right now, Kalee Institute was the first one that popped up. I was so excited. And then I realized it was in Southern California. And I was like, okay, I got hired and basically planned my cross-country road trip in 3 days and then left to start in California in August of 2019. And it was my dream job. I had never felt like I belonged more in a place. I think it's a really special place with really special people. And so I was teaching STEM curriculum. I was doing high ropes courses, staying overnight with students in cabin, basically just summer camp through the year. And then unfortunately for myself, I was there in 2020 when the world shut down. And so did outdoor education. So I had to road trip back to Massachusetts, stayed with my parents, worked like some boring jobs. And then eventually the director reached out and said, we're opening back up in April of 2021. And of course, I was over the moon. And I went back out, drove back out, and I've been there ever since. I was an instructor. Then I was on our leadership team where I was basically planning all the logistics of the schools, reaching out to them, getting their list of students, making sure all the paperwork was done, and then applied to be assistant director where I am right now. And I've been assistant director for about 2 years now. And that is just my dream job. I think my dream job would be to be the director, but who knows if that'll happen. Um, but my day to day is different every day. It's just making sure the program runs. So the way our program kind of works is students come up on field trips. They come up on Monday. So we'll have 600 kids show up on Monday. They all move into their cabins. They learn their classes. And then they'll leave on Wednesday, but we'll have a whole new group of 600 students come on that Wednesday. So there's a lot of crossover. We call it a flip day. And then those students stay till Friday. And my job is really just being the person to do things if anything goes wrong or somebody needs something. So I have like some desk work to do, but a lot of it is like on arrival and departure. I'll go out and help unload and load luggage on buses. A problem comes up and we need to problem solve. I'll do that. We also run a 2-week staff training that we kind of just finished in January for my 120 staff, where we teach them how to be a great instructor at Kalee. Um, and I just love my job. I work with all of my best friends, and it is literally the dream. If anybody wants to work in outdoor education that let them know about Kalee. I'll give them a great recommendation. But it's my favorite place on earth, probably, where I work.
Wow, that's really wonderful. You've seen so many students kind of come and go. All of them, I'm sure, are so very different. But I'm curious, do you have like a favorite moment or like story from your job that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I have a few. So when I worked at Disney World, they like drilled into me that memories are like the most important thing. You're like making magic, making memories. And I really carry that with me today. I say it to my staff a lot. Like, maybe you had a hard week, but remember, you made memories for these kids that they'll remember for the rest of their life. So it was worth it. I have a few. So one, a lot of these kids are from cities like downtown LA, Orange County, things like that. So they've never seen snow before, and we have snow because we're up in the mountains, 6,400 feet, and they've never seen a night sky. So typically those things make me emotional, make me teary-eyed because it's so special to me. But I was with this 4th grade girl, and we were just talking, and then she was looking up at the sky, and she said, "Why are there so many planes up here?" I said, "Those aren't planes, they're stars." And she literally was like, how do you know that? I think they're planes. And I was like, no, they're stars. Just because she had never seen so many stars before. And normally when she sees a light in the sky, it's a plane. And I was like, this is crazy. So that warms my heart. And then I have like a funny one. These students, like I mentioned, they've never seen snow before. They literally don't understand it. So I had to pick up this boy. He had sat in the snow in sweatpants, and now they were soaking wet. And I said, why did you do that? And he goes, "I didn't know there was water in the snow." It is literally like they're in a movie. And then some other things are just like watching my staff make friends. So they show up on the first day of training, and they have to like meet 100 other people, and it's nightmarish. And then by the end, seeing them have their like best friends that they're like crying, saying goodbye to because some of them are leaving, or they're just like hanging out at like our big staff meeting. We have a big staff meeting on Fridays where we all sit in a circle, and it's like really campy and culty. And they're just seeing them have like friends, and they have like little side conversations, or they're leaning on each other. It's just, I know that they're going to remember it for the rest of their life. Like I said, memories are really important to me. And being the person that can help those kids have memories, and these adults that are my staff have the memories too, just means a lot to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is so amazing.
Really
That's
is
so
awesome.
inspiring. That type of work is really cool. But as we near the end of our podcast, I would like to talk to you about our school's portrait of a graduate and the 5 R's. So the 5 R's are being ready, responsible, respectful, reliable, and resilient. And how would you say you would use those 5 R's in your everyday work life? So it's ready, responsible, respectful, reliant, and resilient.
Okay. I might need you to repeat them, but I took resilient the most because my job is so day to day. Like, I could have a day where everything goes smoothly and nobody needs me for anything. And I could have a day where there's a code red, which is a medical emergency. A kid could be hit in the head with a rock, and then a staff member messes up and maybe did something really dumb. We have to fire them. Maybe a group of students gets lost on a hike and we have to go in the woods and find them. And that could all happen in one day. And all those things have happened, but not on the same day. And I think that if I like let it get to me, I would be miserable. But I feel like every single day, even if 8 bad things happen in the morning, we've still got a program to run at night. And I think resiliency is important in that. I'll grab, and I'll throw ready in there. I'm always ready to go. And I would say that I'm like a go-getter. I'm always ready to help. I'm a big believer in a team, especially at my job. My leadership team, which is like the people above the instructors, we have 25. And I think that we are all an incredible team. We're all ready to help out each other. And then I'll go into respect, and I forgot the other two. I think that respect will get you a long way. Since I have such a diverse staff, one of our big lines that we say is to our staff during our like diversity and inclusion training is not everyone in this room is going to agree with each other, and that's okay. But respect is the blanket of what we have here at Pally. So it doesn't matter if off of work you disagree heavily with somebody. When we're at work, we're professional. We're respectful, and even at Pally with our students, we have the three respects: respect yourself, respect others, and respect your environment. So respect is big for me at Pally. We talk about it a lot. And then I don't remember the other two.
So the other two is responsible and reliable.
Oh, these are all the same thing. Because I think I already said those things. I'm responsible and reliable, hand in hand. Someone can rely on me because I'm responsible, and I get things done, and I get them done well. And I don't think anyone has to, if someone came up to me and said, Kalee, I need you to do ABC, I would do ABC to the best of my ability, and I don't think that they would have any doubt in their mind that I would get it done in the correct way and in a timely way. Those 5 R's, they're all basically the same thing.
I think you had some really great answers there, though. I think a lot of students here can definitely take some words of wisdom away from that. We would like to really thank you for taking time to speak with us today. It was a pleasure to have you in the studio sharing all of your experiences with us.
And to our audience listening in, thank you for being part of our premiere episode of the Viking Alumni Podcast. Please join us again as we talk to other Nashoba Tech graduates working in today's job market. Bye. We'll see you guys later.
And thank you very much, Kalee.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you.